Hello everyone, welcome back to the series of tutorials on full stack web development. In previous tutorial, we discussed the introduction of jQuery, the methods of including jQuery in your website, syntax of jQuery, and document ready event. Document ready event encapsulate the jQuery methods so that they don't start manipulating the DOM before web page is loaded. Now in this tutorial, we are going to talk about various parts of jQuery syntax in more detail. While discussing $sign, you will come to know that it is just an alias for jQuery and is often employed because it is shorter and faster to write. After that, we will discuss about various selectors and events which we have previously shown in jQuery syntax. We already discussed three kinds of selectors in previous tutorial where we were able to select or find an element using tag, class or ID name. Here I have created a sample file that contains two headings, four paragraphs with three classes and one ID. I will be using this file throughout the lecture for teaching you various kinds of jQuery concepts. Now let us see how we can use jQuery instead of $sign and then we'll try to understand few more selectors in detail. Here is the output of that file which I have shown you. So what we can do, we can try to hide this heading 1 and here you can see as soon as I press enter this heading will be hidden. So the heading 1 is hidden. You can also show that heading back. The heading is back. Now our task is to understand that you can also use jQuery instead of $sign. So I will try to hide heading using this. Here you can see the heading is again hidden. You can again show it, right? There is another method that you can use. You can either use $sign or jQuery dot toggle, and this toggles between hide and show. So when the element is shown, it will be hidden. When the element is hidden, it will be shown again. So now you have seen how we can use jQuery instead of $sign. Now let us see some selectors, dollar and star. This means that select all elements. Second one, this means that select all elements with class T1 and T2. Third one is similar to this. Here we are using H1, div and P. It means that select all H1, div and P elements. The fourth one is little bit different. So let us see what does it mean. Here we are using P, which means paragraph, and then we are using first. So that means select first paragraph. Not only first, but you can select last paragraph, or you can also use odd or even. So in all cases you can select either the first element or first paragraph, the last paragraph, odd paragraph or even paragraph. Next thing, the fifth one, it's about selecting inputs, and this syntax select all input elements. The last one that I am going to tell you here is related to input box, and here I am using text, which means that select all elements, or I can say select all input elements with type text. Not only text, but you can select other type of elements also. So some of them are password, radio, submit, checkbox, button, submit, and so on. Other than these, there are many more selectors that you can use in your code as per the requirement. Now let us see few of them in action and try to understand their working. Okay, so here is the HTML file in text mode, and you can see there are two headings and four paragraphs. There are some classes and I have provided some styling to these. There is class heading 1 and there is ID heading 2, which have no styling. If you want to assign something to them, you can do like this. And if you want to assign some styling to ID heading 2, then you can do inside here, but I am leaving it as of now. Now let's see the working of all these selectors. Here I am going to select all the element that I will select using the star, and here you can see after the execution of this statement all the elements are selected. Now let us move to another one in which I am going to select all the classes. So we have one class 1, another one class 2, and we have third class also, which is heading 1. So let us see if you can select these elements. Here I have heading 1, this one, class 1 and class 2, right? So these two elements are also selected. If you want to see clearly which elements are selected, you can assign one variable to this selection, and I can give it a name E or element. Now try to check which element you are selecting. Element 0, this is heading with class heading 1, then you can assign 1. This is first paragraph, and you can change this, and here you can see this is second paragraph, right? Now move to third selector and see if you can select multiple elements, and I can use it like this: H1, H2 and P. This should select all the heading 1, heading 2 and all the paragraphs. And here you go, heading 1, heading 2, P class 1, P class 2, this is third paragraph and this is fourth paragraph, right? Now try to select odd or even paragraphs. So what we have to do with that? Odd, and assign it to some variable. I can assign it to P variable, and now try to see 0th. You can see second paragraph, this is the odd one, 0, 1, 2, 3, and it will get you another one which is fourth paragraph, right? And similarly you can select the odd paragraph, even paragraphs. You can also select the first and last paragraph like this. Here you go. If you want to see the value of this, then what you have to do, you can write like this, and you can see first paragraph. If you want to see the last paragraph, then you have to do like this, and you can see it's fourth paragraph. So now you have seen the working of few selectors that I have shown to you. Now let us move ahead. In previous tutorial, we have also seen the action of hiding some elements when relevant jQuery statement were executed. So you can perform necessary actions by using one of the selectors on one of the events as per the requirement of the program. So we have already discussed about selectors. Now let us see some events. So the event that you can use during the program could be click, double click, mouse down, and instead of mouse down you can use mouse up or mouse enter or mouse leave, mouse move, mouse out, mouse over, and etc. There are multiple actions or jQuery methods also that you can use for creating animation effects. So some of them are hide, show, toggle, and you have already used these functions previously or these actions previously. Some others are fade in, fade out, fade to, etc. Now let us use different kind of events and action for a demo purpose. And so for that, we'll use the two problems. So one of the problems says that hide and show a paragraph element when a button is clicked, and you can use either hide, show or toggle function. That is a hint for you. So here I have created a file which contains one input element, which is a button, and then two paragraphs. Our task is that we should click on button and paragraph should be hidden and shown. So how we are going to do that? So start with document ready event. Now you have to put all the statements inside this function. So how we are going to select the button? We use $sign and button is ID btn. So we'll use like this, btn is selected. Now whenever we click on that button, a function will be called and the action that function will perform will be written inside this, right? So how you are going to hide and show the elements? So what we will do, select paragraphs and check the CSS and just display property. If it is none, so for that we have to use if statement. If it is none, that means we want to show the paragraph, right? So for that we'll use show function. You can also use some numbers here, like it is 1000, that means it will take 1 second to show the element. Else, so when will be the else executed? It means display equal to none is false. That means element is already being shown, so we need to hide the element. And how we are going to do that? We need to use selector P and then hide the element. You can also use some number here, that will be time that element will take to show and hide. Now let us execute this program. Here you can see there is first paragraph and second paragraph, and then there is a toggle button. Let us try to click toggle button. Now you can see elements are hidden. Again try to click this button and elements are shown, right? Not only this, you can use just toggle function and avoid all these things. So for that what you have to do, remove this if and else. I have commented it out. Now what you have to do, you have to select paragraph and just toggle it. It will save you from all these 3 or 4 statements. So execute this now. Click on toggle. You can see elements are hidden. Click on toggle again and elements are being shown. If you want to provide the same effect as you have seen earlier, so you can provide number here as well. Now try to click toggle. You can see it is taking time to hide and then again taking time to come back. So this 1000 means 1000 milliseconds or 1 second. If you want to increase or decrease the time, you can change the number here. Okay, so we have solved our first problem. Now move to the second one. Second one says that we need to create a jQuery function that first display an alert pop-up box whenever a link is clicked and then continue its default behavior. So the default behavior of a link is to navigate to given link, right? So here the link is jQuery.com, and in the second part of the problem we'll modify the function and prevents its default behavior, which is navigating to the link. So here I have created a file. It's all sample code. All this code doesn't matter much. The important thing here is here is the anchor tag, and href is jquery.com. We have included jQuery file here, and now I have created a script tag inside which document ready event is already there. So what I have to do, we need to select this anchor tag and create a function whenever that link is clicked. So put a semicolon at the end of the statement. Now create a alert message. We can write thanks for visiting and try to run this program. Here you can see this is the file, and now I will click jQuery. You can see the message is thanks for visiting. I will press OK and it will move to jQuery.com. Right, now let's go back and now modify the program to prevent this default behavior of the link. So for preventing default behavior of a link, we need to use this method event dot prevent default, and for that purpose we need to pass event here. Now try to run this program again. We have clicked jQuery.com. The alert is shown. Whenever we click OK on this, the link will not navigate to jQuery.com now. So the default behavior is already prevented. You can also apply some other functions like hiding the link. So for that you can do this. This is current object, which is link as of now. You can hide it, provide some seconds so that it takes some time. Click jQuery, press OK, and now you can see the link, the jQuery is hidden. Okay, so let us move ahead and see some of the HTML and CSS methods that jQuery provides for manipulating HTML and CSS, and they are very important. So there is one function add class, which add one or more class name to the selected element. There is another function remove class. It removes one or more classes from the selected elements. Third function hash class. It just checks if any selected element have a specified class name or not. Then there are some other functions like ATTR. We can say that it's a attribute function. It sets or returns attribute or values of the selected element. Similarly, it has a function of removing one or more attribute from the selected element. Now you have an HTML function which sets or returns the content of selected element. And similarly, there is one more function that sets or returns one or more style properties for the selected element. Now we'll use the above knowledge to perform some actions. Okay, so we'll solve this first question, in which we have to add or remove a class to change some of the properties of an element. So here I have a file which contains a link and has a test class. So I will open this file in browser and see how it looks. So here is the file. Now what we have to do, we have to select this link and first check whether it has some class test or not, and it gives us false. So what we can do, we can add a class test to this and see how it changes. So you can see it here, the font of jQuery has been changed. Now you can remove the class also. Just copy it from here, change the add function to remove one, and the styling has been changed to previous one. Okay, now solve this second problem where we have to add or remove some CSS styling on the paragraphs. So let us open this file which have 4 paragraphs and 2 headings, and that we have studied earlier. Try to add some red color to all the paragraphs For that we need to select paragraph and use CSS function. After that use the property color and add a color red, and you can see all the paragraphs are changed to red color. You can also check the style property or style attribute for all the paragraphs, and here it is. The styling to all the paragraphs has been changed to color red. If I see all the elements, you can see it here, styling color red in all the paragraphs. You can also remove this attribute by using remove attribute function. So for that, pass style inside this, and you can see all the paragraphs are changed to previous styling, and here there is no style element in the paragraphs. After that, you can also change the content of a selected element and get the content of an element. So I am going to use h1 for that, h1.html. By using this function, I will get the content of the first heading, and it is here. This is heading with class heading 1. If I want to set the content here, I will pass the content, change content, and you can see it here. Okay, so after a brief discussion on the jQuery methods of HTML and CSS, now let us talk more about callback functions. So JavaScript allows you to pass function around to be executed at a later time. A callback is a function that is passed as an argument to another function and is executed after its parent function is completed. So callback functions are special because they patiently wait to execute until their parent finishes. Meanwhile, the browser can be executing other functions or doing all sorts of other work. So it's important to know the way callback functions should be passed. So there are two ways. One is callback without arguments and another is callback with arguments. So if a callback has no arguments, you can pass it in like this. So when this get function finishes getting the page sample.html, it executes the myCallback function later. Please note that here the second argument do not have any quotes and it's not a string but a function. Now let us talk about callback with arguments. Executing callbacks with argument can be tricky. So let us first write a wrong code and see why it doesn't work. Here P1 and P2 are parameters to the function. The reason this code fails is that the code executes myCallback P1 P2 immediately and then passes myCallback's return value as a second parameter to this get function. We actually want to pass the function myCallback and not myCallback along with its argument or its return value, because the return value may or may not be a function. So how should we pass the callback and include its argument? So there is another method. It's a wrong one. So let us try another one. So to defer executing myCallback with its parameters, you can use an anonymous function as a wrapper. So you can use it like this. Get, here it is anonymous function, and now you can write callback function here along with its parameter P1 and P2. So when this get function finishes getting the page sample.html, it executes anonymous function, which in turn executes myCallback along with its parameter P1 and P2. Now let us take one example to understand the difference between without callback and with callback. So here I have created a file that contains two buttons with ID btn1 and btn2, and there is one paragraph. So what I am going to do here is I am going to click this button. I can take button 1 as of now. I will use button 2 later, but let us create some functionality on button 1. And whenever I click this button, it should call an anonymous function for which functionality is inside this function What I am going to do now, I will hide this paragraph first in 1 second, and then I want an alert which says paragraph is hidden. Now let us see this example in our browser. Click hide one, and you can see the alert has been shown before. The paragraph is hidden. But we wanted to hide the paragraph first, and the alert should be shown later. But it's not being shown here right now. So we'll add callback functionality in second button and see how it works. So copy this whole thing and try to modify. This is without callback. Another is with callback. So now here we need to take button 2 and call a function on button click. Whenever we are going to hide this button, there is a second argument which is again an anonymous function, and you can put this alert inside here. So in this case, this anonymous function is a callback. So it wait for the hide to execute and then alert pops up. Now let us see it in action. Hide one, alert is coming first, paragraph is hidden, hiding later. On clicking second one, paragraph is hiding first and then alert is coming. Okay, so I think this is enough introduction for the jQuery. I hope you liked the lecture with so many concepts and demos. Still, if you have any doubt or query regarding anything so far, please write a comment or drop me a mail. I will surely respond back whenever I get the time. So in coming lectures, we will discuss about the PHP and databases. Till then, thank you so much.